let's go ahead and just get it started really quick. Good morning, good afternoon. Good to see you, Matt. Good to see you. Good to see you. I'm just waiting for some more to pile in. I'm starting it a little bit early. Um, Trying to get things all settled in here. This is the first time I'm doing this, so, y'all don't judge me. I'm trying to get used to it. Oh, it's almost 2100 there. Wow. That's like what, 5 o'clock or something in the evening? Or maybe a little bit later, depending on where you're at. Because I know. No, wait a minute. That's got to be like. Let me think. 3 o'clock is 10 o'clock if I'm wrong. You can quote me on that if I'm wrong. But anyway, I hope y'all can hear me out there. I hope y'all can hear me. Hopefully, I'm coming through very well. I'm using the good old trusty mic here. Believe it or not, this is what I record. This is what I record all my videos on. This little cheap old $3 microphone. I gotta wait for the extension and the power cord for this one. This one right here. I gotta wait for the extension and power cord for this one. So this way I can connect it to my desk and use an actual microphone. But anyway. Good morning, Red Cell. Good to see you here. Good to see you here. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you. I know it's 11 a.m. here, Pacific Standard Time here in California. So, waiting for a few more to roll in and then. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Well, I'm glad it's working. I really am. I'm waiting for a few more to roll in. Let's see if we can get a few more to roll in, and then we can get started. Make sure y'all got your drink. Make sure y'all got your drink right here. I got mine. We got a lot to talk about today. I kind of start next time I do the streaming next week. I'm going to try to do it on Thursdays around 11 a.m. So that way y'all know that we're going to keep continuous on 11 a.m. right here every week. And talk about the things that happened through the past week, what's going on with, what's going on in the world as far as PC entertainment, between AMD, Nvidia, and Intel. But we're going to go ahead and just get started. And as people roll in, they can take and roll back to the beginning. So this way, everybody that's here, y'all don't have to jump in and out. You know how that rolls. So, let's go ahead and start off like this and say good morning to y'all. Well, I've already said good morning, but I'm going to say it again. I'm going to say good afternoon, and I'm going to say good evening to you, wherever you are. Don't forget to make sure, if you're new here, and if you want to join in on the chats, that you subscribe, because in order for you to chime in on the chats, on the videos, what I set it up is you have to subscribe. You know, having a hard time getting subscribers. We do got 66. Thank God we got 66, and I do welcome everybody to the family once again. So what's going to happen is we're going to talk a little bit about Nvidia. Nvidia seems to be having a lot of ups and downs. You know, I've seen a lot of news, and I've seen a lot of leaks, and, you know, I've seen a lot of everything that's going on. And if y'all want to lay something in the chat on me, I am watching the chat, just to let you know. Matt, if you want to throw something in the chat, I am watching. So, the big green monster. Yeah, that's Nvidia. It's the big green monster. So, let's just go ahead and just dive right into Nvidia really quick. I know you all been wondering what's been going on with them and the pricing and everything else. I pulled up some charts, you know, on the new flagships that they got going on for the graphics cards. Looks like Nvidia has the RTX 4090. The RTX 4090. It's got 16,384 cores, and you know it's 24 gigs. It's 384-bit bus, and it's got GDR6, and it's a 450 watt graphics card. Okay, we all know that the 4090 is ranging in between $1,600 and $2,500. Now I know with y'all and me, I ain't going 1,600 and you know, I ain't paying $2,500 for a graphics card. You did a price check on your PC. Oh yeah, well I agree, man. See, that's the thing. The prices that, you know, when you look at it, the prices have not changed. Everybody, I've been watching different reviewers say to the fact, "Oh, the prices are getting lower. Oh, the prices are getting lower." And you know, when I'm looking at it and I'm doing graphics card nightmare, and I'm going from the first video I did, like, what, 3 or 4 months back, to now, and the prices are just varying. They're just moving a little bit here and there. And that's even with the only thing that's going up is the price on graphics cards. But also, too, motherboards, the prices are starting to come up and they're starting to balance out. They're starting to take the cheaper motherboards and they're trying to make them the same price as the new motherboards. They're trying to make them up right there at $299, and they're trying to make the newest motherboards, they're trying to make it up to about $400, $500. Okay, now, when you go to build your PC, you know, you got to figure, you got the motherboard, right? You got the motherboard, you got the random access memory, you got the processor, you got the hard drive, and you got the GPU, you know, graphics card, and you got the power supply, you got the case, you got the fans, and you got the heat sink for your processor with the fan, you know. Or, you know, you can go AIO water cooled. By the time you get done doing all that, and if you use the new AM5 platform, you're looking at almost $3,500 if you want it decent, you know, computer. That's not including the apparels for the mouse, the keyboard. That's not, that's not for the, even for the monitors, the stands, that the mounts that you get for the wall. All this adds up just to have a decent computer. I mean, but as far as pricing, for what I bought, and believe it or not, when I bought my motherboard for my computer, that was $79. You know how much they want for this motherboard now? They want double. They want double for the same motherboard I have in my computer now. And then no, it was just the case and what's inside. No other stuff. I checked on it, PC part picker. Oh, it was just the case. Oh, just the case alone. Yeah, the cases are crazy. If you're thinking just the case alone and you got it from PC Part Picker, but understand this. PC Part Picker will not give you every single case that's out there. And that's the thing. It doesn't give you every case that's out there. The case I got for mine was only $49. Minus the fans. I paid $37 for the fans, and I got a remote with mine. I got a remote, 6 fans, and a light bar that goes inside my computer. So I got the whole thing for $89, and it's fully airflowed and everything else. See right here. So it was cheaper to do it that way. Well, I'm just letting you know that it was cheaper to buy it. When you buy cases and they say they come with 3 fans, it's just cheaper. It's just cheaper in the long run to buy a $49 case that has good airflow and add $30 fans and have an $80 case, which you configured and make better for yourself. That's what I'm saying. So, but I never go by PC Part Picker for the fact of it doesn't give you all the parts. You can't see everything. It shows you the best that you can get, but it doesn't show you the back end of it to where, even sometimes cheaper parts are just as good as the better parts, from what I found out. I'm not saying, you got to go on the back end, but if you're if you are trying for the first time to build your own PC, I do agree with you. PC Part Picker would be the best way to go. I do agree with you 100% on that. So, first time builders, this is the best way you can go. So this way you can pick your parts the way you want it. Also, too, don't forget Amazon as well. They have, when you go and you look up for certain parts, they have listings to where they bundle either, when you get a processor, they can bundle the motherboard and RAM with it. They do give you a basic bundle package. That's exactly what I did with this computer here. I used the bundle package off of Amazon. And they bundled the 5600G, they bundled the B450M/A.AII motherboard, and it worked out good. Also, I hope y'all been hearing that there's been some leaks on Nvidia with the GeForce RTX 4070 and the 4060 Ti. Well, the 4070 is supposed to have 5,888 cores, and it's supposed to be 12 gigabytes, 192-bit bus, GDR6X, and it's supposed to be 250 watts. So, that's supposed to be coming out in February. They don't know when. The way they laid it out was that you're supposed to have the 4070 coming out in February, and in March you're supposed to have the 4060 Ti. So, but they've already got the 4070 on laptops, the 4070, was it? The 4070, 4060, and the 4050, but they're coming out soon with those laptops. So I think they're just going to push everything out all in one shot. Not one shot, but I would say for the next 3 or 4 months. So, if you're going to buy a GPU, and the best thing I would say is, wait a little bit, see what prices come out with the 4060 Ti, what prices come out with the 4070. So if the 4060 Ti comes down in price, let's say they bring it down to like $200, the 4060 Ti will have 4,352 cores. It'll be on the platform of AD106, and it'll have 8 gigabytes of VRAM with 128 bit bus, and it'll have 18 gigatransfers with GDDR6, but it's not 6X. So, and welcome everybody that just came in. Welcome here to the live episode, not episode, but anyway, right here with me, JJ. I'm JJ's PC Builds. Good to see y'all that just came in. But the thing is this, Nvidia they're going to be putting out a total of, let's say, you got 2, you got 3, 4. We're hoping that they put out 6 cards for this year. 6 or 7 cards for this year for graphics cards. And hopefully as they put them out and they go along, they get better in price. But you're going to lose a little bit of cores and a little bit of VRAM, and a little bit of speed. But if they all share the DLSS 3 and they got the AV1 encoding, and and they got the it's just, if they got it overall, I could say overall, in speed wise, the best thing that you can do. I can see it for a little bit of content creating. I can see it for a little bit of gaming. If you don't do much gaming and stuff, and you want to save a buck, then, it'd be best to go with a lower budget graphics card. Okay. I tried that with and I shouldn't mention it, but I'm going to mention it. I went and got for Christmas the RX 6500 XT. It was a dumpster fire. I'm just going to tell you right there. It was a dumpster fire. I thought it was great. It was running great until it just, when, you're playing a game and you want your clock speeds to be up there and everything else, it kept dropping off. It kept dropping off to like below 300 or 400 megahertz. It was right there down at the bottom end of 300 or 400 megahertz, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm playing this game, it should be right at the top, but it wasn't. See, that was another problem too. But we'll get to that when we get into AMD's side of the abyss. But right now we're dealing with Nvidia and to see what they got going on, and so on and so forth. But I'm sure in time when the 4060s and 4070s come out, they'll be either a lot better or a lot worse. We don't know yet. But as far as, and also too, the 12-pin connector, the power connector for that, looks like Cable Mods had a little bit of a mishap with it. They're making good for it, just to let y'all know. Cable Mods makes really great cables for your PC. If you want specialty cables and stuff, then go with Cable Mods. Or you can go with Amazon. You get the cheapos from Amazon. But I would go with Cable Mods because they make their their stuff more heavier duty, and if something goes wrong with your GPU or something, they make good for it. Just to let you know that. So best to stick with Cable Mods. If you're going to get specialty cables, that would be the best way to go. As far as we haven't touched on random access memory. Everybody's always wondering what's the best memory to use. That all depends on if you want to, if you're using AM5 right now, the price for AM5 random access memory is like still up high until it starts to come down, but I'm going to stick with Corsair. I use Corsair with my PC. I'm live streaming with you all on OBS and not having a problem, as you can see. Can you beat this kind of computer that you can live stream? Live stream. And, do all this right here on a Ryzen 5 5600G, 16 gigs of RAM, and a B450 motherboard. That's it. That's all I'm running. There's no graphics card. So that's crazy. I would agree with you, Mad. I would agree with you on that, for the simple fact is because you want them drivers in there. You want all the software drivers. You want that seasoned a little bit. It's like when you get stuff with the AM4 platform, it's all seasoned. All the drivers are built, they've been tested, and that's going to be good. That's the thing. It's going to be good because of the fact that it's not a new platform. With all new platforms, you basically want to give it a year or two. It's like with these new graphics cards. You want to give it a year or two before you even want to adventure in buying them. And by then the price is going to come down and they're going to come out with something new. I usually wait about at least the graphics card at least has to have 1 or 2 years for me to purchase it, for me to sample it. Because I don't want to, I'm like you, I don't want to deal with all these bogus drivers, all these overheatings and everything else, that's going to go on for the next 2 or 3 years. So it's best to stay with the platform that is stable. And I do agree with you on that. It's best to stay with the stable platform until you get around 2 or 3 years. And that way it's seasoned in its drivers and stuff like that. But I do agree with you 100% on that. And, it's just like other reviewers, they were saying, oh my God, the power supplies are blowing up. Oh my God, the power supplies are blowing up. Look at this one blow up. Look at this one blow up. Aren't you all a little tired of hearing all that hate speech? For the simple fact that, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. How about saying, instead of this is wrong, this is what you can do to make it right? And that's the whole reason that I say with the B450 motherboard, I haven't gone wrong yet. I'll tell you what, Asus B450, Asus B550, that's where I'm going to stay. So, yeah, that is true. The gigawatt. That's why I say Asus, and I'm not saying Gigabyte. No hate on Gigabyte whatsoever, But, there are some things they make that just breaks. So it's a make or break kind of thing. Asus makes their stuff pretty strong. Now you got to give it good on Asus because they do make it strong. MSI does too. Don't EVGA, they make it good too. So there are good companies out there, but it's just Gigabyte. I've always heard horror stories about Gigabyte, and that's the reason why I don't really kind of recommend going over onto the Gigabyte side until they can prove me wrong and show me the products that won't have any mishaps with. But EVGA, I did try out a little bit of their products. MSI, I did too, and Asus, I'm running on right now. So I haven't had any problem with Asus at all. So, Well, what do you mean by Asus tax? It, I thought they no, I thought the tax. I thought the taxes were supposed to be relieved for 6 months from January. That's Razzle. That's what I was trying to understand. I thought it was relieved from 6 months from the 1st of January. So correct me if I'm wrong about that. That's what I heard. I'm not certain on it. I thought all taxes all the way around the board, around the world, were supposed to be like kind of tapered off for the first 6 months. You know, I mean, but yeah, Matt, I mean, the thing is this, I've had a lot of Asus motherboards. I've ran a lot of Asus products. I ran a lot of AMD. I ran a lot of Intel. You know, I mean, I got two computers. Okay, one that I bought is a pre-built. Let's say like a couple $100 pre-built, and all I did was add video card to it, and all I got to do is add some 16 gigs of RAM. Boom, it's done. I mean, that thing runs like a champ. Yeah, and Razzle. Yeah, they were low before. Believe it or not, they were low before. Go back about maybe 4 or 5 months ago. Some of their prices on some of their motherboards were low, and some of their graphics cards and stuff, yeah, they did have a lower price about 4 or 5 months ago. But the thing is this: now they're innovating. Now they're they're basically, what they're doing is they're revamping everything they got, and they're lifting it up and charging more. It's like it's like the 4070 Ti. I'm going to use this as, yeah, it is a great product. I do admit it is an awesome product, but it's like with the 4070 Ti. Okay, the thing is no AIB, there's no Founder Edition card on the 4070 Ti. But the thing is, what happened is it was open season for AIB partners. Like Asus, MSI, and whoever's making the graphics card, Gigabyte and all them. Basically, they can set their own prices because there was no actual MSRP that was actually based upon the 4070 Ti. So it was like crazy. Good morning, Doran. Good morning. Big shout out to you. Good to see you. Welcome to the live video. We're not that too far into it. Just let y'all know, the first segment of this video was half an hour of y'all seeing we're going to get started. So, It hasn't been going on that long. It's only been about 27 minutes. But anyway, so good morning and hello everybody that just came in. Scorlio. Hopefully I said your name correctly. If I don't, then it's probably my tongue ring in my mouth. Being as old as I am, and I got a tongue ring name something. But anyway, let's go ahead and get back to it. Okay, we had a couple now with Nvidia. They had a couple dumpster fires. Basically, the connectors. They're still having problems with the connector on the video card. Just to let y'all know, it's still going on. Somebody had put in Reddit that there was another dumpster fire with the connectors. So, and they claim that they connected it all the way. So it's kind of an ongoing thing with the connection problems. But now we're going to move over to the AMD side. And, y'all can leave me your thoughts about the AMD side. Because, from what I'm hearing about the RX 7900 XTX, that, the Founders, I'm going to say it's the Founders Edition card. The first batch of cards that are made. The overheating issues because they didn't put enough water in the... And I'm still can't understand why they have to put water inside there instead of making it a solid heat sink. I can't understand that. Yeah, they do, but the funny thing is, Dorian, the funny thing is about that is this. Can you believe it or not, I'm running integrated graphics right now, AMD integrated graphics, but I'm using the newest driver, 23.1.1. I have not changed it since I made my few videos ago. I'm still using that with the integrated graphics from the Ryzen 5 5600G. So, truthfully, I'm gonna tell you. Truthfully, I can't tell you from what I've watched on the videos about the cards dying. That's what's happened in Germany. Okay, they say the card's dying in Germany. It could be a one small batch that's in Germany that's happening. But around the world, nobody's been reporting anything. So, it's 50-50 on that. Okay, but as far as the drivers killing your card, unless it's defective or something else, I haven't had any problems with the 22.11.1, the 22.11.2, the 22.12.1, and the 22.12.2. Sorry, but and the 23.1.1. Okay, those are all the recent driver software AMD's put out. I've tested it all myself on the something that's the most scrutinized thing in the world, and that's on an integrated graphics. Especially when your processor is built with your graphics card all into one. I'm more at risk of losing my whole computer over a driver issue than you would a discrete graphics card. Okay, discrete graphics card is one thing, but when you're putting the whole processor on the line, then that's a different story. But I haven't seen any overheating issues. I've been watching for it, I just think it was a bad batch of cards, and it was over there in Germany, and it was just a bad batch of cards. So, and the way the die looked, it looked like that, they used it to me, I was looking at the pads that they had. When Chris Fix opened up the the graphics card, you can see on that pad how the top of the GPU die was stuck to the pad onto the heatsink. That right there, that's a hotspot issue. That kind of brings me to the point of a hotspot issue, to where they were having high temperature hotspot issues. The pad that they put in there for the GPU die was either too thin, and it just melted right to the GPU die melted right to the heat sink, causing a dead short between the SoCs, which they were claiming, or that you had a bad SoC that was on the motherboard or the PCB, and it shorted out and it overvolted the GPU die. But as far as the drivers and the software, that's more or less designed for not for that. I mean, what controls the card, the GPU card, is your BIOS, the GPU BIOS. So if the GPU BIOS was faulty, then yeah, that would cause a driver overflow. So, but I mean, I really don't think it was a driver issue. I think it was a hardware issue myself. What do you all think? You think it was a software issue or a hardware issue? That's a good discussion right there. To find out if it was a software issue or a hardware issue. I mean, but to me, I think it was a hardware issue. To be honest with y'all, to me, I think it's just a hardware issue. So, but we can thank God that it's been found, and hopefully they can get some kind of fix on those cards. But those are older cards too, and they're not going to be within warranty as well. So please be careful with your 6000 series cards. I'm just going to be honest with you. If you go to take and, put software on that, on your computer to control it and everything else, just watch your software. Yeah, it could be an overheating protection that's failing, but it could be the overheating protection on the PCB, that that monitor that each it's like your motherboard. You have little spots to where they got temperature controls. Okay, if the temperature control fails on the PCB for the dies and whatever else that's really being controlled through the BIOS software, which comes up onto for your connects to your software of your products that you use for AMD, like the AMD Adrenalin, the software monitoring of that, or the hardware info monitoring, gives you those little insights, precise little details on the amount of heat that's on your junctions, and stuff like that. So it could be a hardware. See, it all comes back down to the same thing, Matt. It's hardware issue related. It's not software issue related. Because in order for that to fail, then that means there has to be either malware that's on the BIOS of that PCB in order for that to fail. Okay? I've had this happen to me once too, long time ago, somebody put malware on my video card, and it caused my video card to shut down. I mean, completely shut down. So I had to use another video card in order to get back onto the system to find out exactly what it is. Found out somebody put malware on my PC, and it caused to get into the, what was it, the memory of the unused memory of the video card. Your video card has some spots that are unused on the memory die. So if the ones that are unconnected, that's how they throw viruses into on your video card, is in through those empty spaces that the manufacturer card, the video card manufacturer is supposed to give you that extra performance, but they don't. They kind of leave it not working. So hackers found a way to take and go into the memory dies and throw in a virus that's unremovable. I know y'all don't really see how that's possible, but it's happened to me before. That's before they come out with the ransomware protection. That's basically what they did for ransomware. They went and they controlled everything about your computer through your the video card memory. So if you didn't know that, now you do. I've been doing this stuff since '86, and it is what it is. But moving on down the road, let's see. Dorlin, if you never had any temp issues with your 6900 XT, then I really wouldn't worry about it. It could be, like I said, it could be isolated into a certain batch, and that's what it comes down to. It sounds like it's into a certain batch, and then when AMD put out the upgrades, it could have triggered something. That could be a possible too. So, but I don't see how it is possible, because there wasn't that much change between 22.11.1 and 22.11.2. Sorry, my tongue just keeps getting in the way of that. But as far as I know, that I haven't seen anybody in the U.S. or Canada or Mexico or in different parts of the world, except for Germany, having that same issue. It could be a malware issue too, and do not check that off, people. Sometimes when you have computer problems, sometimes it just won't be hardware. It can be what they call malware. And you all know malware, if you're not careful enough, you get malware on your system, and you're basically skewed. I would have said the other word, but I don't want YouTube to take it wrong, but I said skewed. So also too, talk a little bit about Intel, the 13900K and the 13900KS. Did any one of y'all get the 13900KS or the K version? Just let me know in the chat right here if y'all got the K version or the KS version. Cause exactly, fudged. I agree with you. So no matter which way you go with the computer, it's just it is that way. I mean, you take the risk when you buy the parts. Even if it's brand new, you still take the risk. I mean, electronics in this world now these days, they don't last but maybe 70% of their life. Usually it's either by bad manufacturing or whatever. But, I really want to know about the pricing because, oh, you're still on the 10. You're, Mad, you're still on the 10 700K? Wow. Well, if it's running good for you, that's the best way to go. If it's running good for you, I really from the 10,700K is not a bad processor. That is still a really good. That's still 10th gen, so it's still really good. When you put the right amount of RAM with it and everything else, even your SSD drive, make sure you got a little cache on it, and that thing will run like a dream. Don't matter what card you play, what GPU you use with the 10700K, it's still going to run like a dream. Everybody's talking about bottlenecking and everything else, and the thing is, with the bottlenecking, I could see it done with, like, let's say an 8th gen processor or a 7th gen. You can bottleneck a little bit, but as far as the newest processors go, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to say ladies and gentlemen because, I don't want to offend nobody. I want to make sure everybody's all good with me. With the newest processors, you're not really going to bottleneck. You're going to hit a FPS ceiling before you do a bottleneck now because they got the caps. They keep capping it off at about 120 to 140 FPS on some games. So, oh, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. Everybody says with the Asus motherboards, Matt, they say turn on DOCP and this and that. You know what I found out? When you turn on PBO, when you turn on position, I'm just going to say PBO because the word's too long for me. But when you turn on PBO and you turn on DOCP, which is XMP, you know what happens? My computer goes haywire. I basically got to reset the BIOS. Basically because it goes haywire. But you know what I did find out was that I could set the clocks. It's better to leave DOCP off, set the clocks. Like I got 3200 megahertz Corsair RAM, CL16. I just take and turn around and set mine at 3200 and the memory infinity, I set that to 1600 and boom, I'm off to the races. Yes, well, yeah, something's definitely wrong if you do have to reset the BIOS, but the thing is, I already knew what the problem was. It's with the B450s. The thing is if you turn on DOCP with PBO, it doesn't run right. So basically it just crashes. So it's how you set it up. And make sure you turn on SAM and you turn off what do you call it, the CMA. You turn off CMA, you put rebar on it, you turn off DOCP, XMP, you manually set the memory on your RAM, and it runs great, and you turn PBO on, and you take and set it all to auto, and this is the trick. You set it all to auto, and you're off to the races. And then after you do all that, you can go into the NB configuration, and you can take and set your video card all the way up to the to 4 gigs of Vcache on your integrated graphics. So that's what I did with mine. Mine's at 4 gigabytes. So I set it there. And doing all the little tuning, it runs great. And if you don't know how to tune it and you're in ASUS BIOS, they got what they call OC Tuner. Go and just hit OC Tuner. And it'll tune what you need to do, but you need to turn off CMA, and you need to enable rebar, and you need to do all what I just said a few minutes ago. But after that, it runs great. The iGPU on this computer is running at 2300 megahertz. The memory's running at 1600. So I can't beat that. I mean, that's like a big old video card in itself with 4 gigabytes of RAM. You can't beat that. And you have to look at it that way too. I mean, if you got a decent heatsink on your processor, these ASUS motherboards just run wonders. They'll run circles around a lot of competitors. Especially with an older motherboard. You got to figure that too. You got an older motherboard, I mean, come on. But let's get down to the brass tacks. They got the new non-X version of AMD's 7000 series processors. I hear that they're getting just as much speed. Some of them are getting just as much speed as the X version. But they're cheaper. These are the 65 watt versions. It's like the 5600G. It's the 65 watt version. I mean, yeah, I'm not running the 120 watt version or the 108 watt version. I'm running the 65 watt version. And believe it or not, my case stays cool 24/7, so best off to run the 65 watt version. What? Am I going to change my processor just to get 16 more megs of L3 cache? That's the only difference between the 5600X and the 5600G is 16 megs of Vcache. Or not Vcache. 16 megs of L3 cache. That's the only difference between the two processors. Why would I go to a $160 processor when I got a processor here that's $103? Figure the math. Do the math when you build your computers. I mean, you can't really beat that. If I'm going to scratch my head over 15 megabytes of L3 cache, I'm going to go with the lower price. It's price to performance, believe it or not. Nobody talks about this processor, and they don't realize this processor is just as good as the 5600X. Just as good. I'm not saying is good. I said just as good. So there's not really much different performance between the two. But anyway, you all let me know what you think. Tell me about what's going on with your systems, or what you're doing to, how well they're running. Let me know what's going on. I'm watching the chats. Just to let you know, I'm watching the chats. What else news do we got going on? What else news? Did you all see they had this is another thing too. If you do have the RX 7900 XTX, be very careful because they're finding corrosion up underneath the memory chips that's on the PCB board. They're finding massive corrosion. Your PC makes a rattle noise, mad, when the fan spins at max. Rubber dampeners might help. Them rubber plugs, that might help too. Because the way I used to do it was I used to take a little piece of rubber, right, around where the screws are, and I used to take and put that rubber in the hole. And I used to take the screw and I used to run the screw right through the piece of rubber and then mount it to, depending on what fan you have, what fans you're talking about. If you're talking about the processor, the heatsink for your processor, that fan, or if you're talking about the case fans, or they're over tightened, true, but you can put rubber washers between the case and the fans. That'll cause less vibration. There are ways to resolve that. It depends on where. Usually you won't really hear much of a rattle if it's on your processor. It's more or less one of your case fans. You can always put the newer fans come with the rubber grommets already built onto the fans, but the older fans are just hard plastic. If I have any rattles, I just get the rubber washers and I put it in between the case and the fan, and that solves the problem. So just a little piece of rubber in between, boom, done. So that way you ain't got to spend an arm and a leg just to, get your rattles fixed. Or if you got a bent fan blade, that'll cause a rattle too. That'll cause the case to wobble a little bit. So make sure your fan blades ain't bent or broken. Somebody stuck their finger in there they shouldn't have, You don't want that to happen. But coming back to the AMD Ryzen processors, what do you all think about the new non-X version? Do you all think that it's a really good processor, or would it be something you would think about going to? Is it something that you would really want to, hang on to? Let me know. Just let me know what's going on there. Me, myself. Okay, I do apologize. Is everybody still here? Everybody still here? Let me type it in the chat. Okay, good. Yeah, somehow, my internet was kind of going in and out earlier today. I'm going to have to call the cable company on that, and tell them we got a big problem here there, Foster. I just had them fix this like at least a week ago. And now it just keeps coming back. It's like a bad omen. Oh my God! Somebody needs to shoot the cable guy. Don't quote me on that neither. Oh my goodness! But seriously, with the Ryzen processors, what are you all's thought on that? I really want to know. Would you go Intel or would you go Ryzen? Which ones are your favorite between the processors, Intel or Ryzen? Let me know there. Because I'm curious to the fact to see if y'all really like the Intel processors or the Ryzen. I'm kind of flipped up in the air myself. I don't know which one to like right now. Truthfully, I don't know which one to like. I mean, do I want to go the 13900K or the KS or the 12th gen or, the 11th gen? Everybody tells me stay away from the 11th gen in Intel for some reason because it doesn't cut it. Stay at about the 12th gen, 12100 or greater. And that's what I was told. And I'm starting to think, well, maybe I should believe him on that. But I can tell you from the 5600G all the way up to the ending of the AM4 platform, all them processors are golden. from soup to nuts, just to let you know that too. So you kind of had no choice. You wanted to support AMD, but Intel has the quick sync thingy, so work is faster and better. You know what? Yeah, they do. They do got that, and I forgot that they had that. You know, that quick sync is pretty good. You know, I do agree with that, but you know, the thing is this. You know, even though that it is, I think the one bad thing AMD has is they're still utilizing on that platform of what do you call it, multiplexer processing. And what I mean by multiplexer processing is basically multi-threading. Unlike what Intel moved to, because they got the performance cores and the efficiency cores, AMD still stayed with the multiplexer processing, to where, you know, everything goes with, you know, your cores and your threads. Now, do remember, Intel used to be cores and threads too, but they moved over to performance cores and efficiency cores now. So they're running on a little bit of a different platform than AMD is. So basically, they're running on a different field. But AMD is still sticking with that same platform they've stuck with since 87? Or 87 or 88, when they moved from single core to multi-core. You know, that was kind of the, you know, the thing, to where now these days everybody's like, multi-core, single core. What is single core? Y'all want to see a single core? Let me show you a single core. Okay, let me go over here and show you what I built. This right here. Oh, let me turn it around. There, right here. A Dell computer. This is the 745. This is the Dell 745. This has got the Intel processor, Pentium D processor. This has 3.4 gigahertz of processor power, single core. Believe this, single core. And all I did was I added a little bit more RAM. I put a video card in there, and boom. I just added a video card to it, and it's off to the races. That's it. Nothing to it. I mean, it's Dell. Look. Ugh. It's Dell. See? It's Dell. So. But I didn't do much to that. That thing is a classic, believe it or not. But it still plays the same games I can on the computer I'm using now. It still plays the same games that I use on my other Intel. And that's got a Pentium D processor in it. Now that's crazy. And all I got is a 1 gigabyte video card in there. And it's an AMD. It's an R5 240. That's got an R5 240 in there. It play all, you know, this system's going to somebody, and the the thing is this. They said, I only play Facebook. All right, it's like, I got the PC for you right here. Facebook. And I tried it. I ran it for like maybe 5 days straight now. I ran that PC for 5 days straight to make sure there was no problems whatsoever. Everything is solid. It is solid in there. That's an awesome PC. But you know how that goes. All right, we're going to go ahead and kind of sum it up a little bit. We did get started on time, so the thing is this, y'all. Is there anything else that you want to get out in the open right here and right now? Let me know, as I don't know if this dang thing is going to take and turn around and my internet's going to take a crap on me, but you never know neither, So, oh yeah, few things I want to touch up on. Okay, I've been trying to tell everybody that get your friends, get everybody to subscribe and get up onto the channel because we got a lot of things cooking here. And this is what YouTube tells me. If you can't get 1,000 subscribers and you can't get 4,000 watch hours within 365 days, then it rolls over. So I have until December the 31st to get monetized. And with us getting monetized, then we'll be able to do more things. Like what I really want to do is I want to take and I want to do some t-shirts and stuff like that. I want to be able to do stuff on the channel. I want to be able to get equipment so I can do, I can do greater videos with you all, so that way y'all see that, we get some good builds going on here, stuff like that. But usually anything that YouTube, pays the creator, the creator usually puts back into YouTube. So basically whatever YouTube pays, basically like a salary, this is like a job for me. Just to let y'all know it's like a job for me. But when yeah, I am trying my best, believe it or not. I am trying my best. I'm going to keep at it. I'm not going to stop. We got many years to go, just to let you know. We have many years to go. So I'm not giving up. I'm going to keep it rolling, and we're just going to keep building and making it better and better and better as it goes along. But now, there are going to be a couple things coming up next month to where February is going to be a little bit busy. Just a recap on that too. Do expect Nvidia to come out with some product? Do you expect AMD to come out with some product? Do you expect Intel to come out with some product? It looks like Intel updated their drivers on their ARC 750s and 770s. There's many things cooking in the PC world as it goes on today. But I will tell you all this. When I do, videos, I'm thinking of the consumer. I'm not thinking of myself. I'm thinking about what the consumer has to pay and the prices. That's one thing that gets me, is that these big companies, they miss the bill. They think that in order for them to make more money, it's for you to, not for them to spend money, it's for you to spend money in order for them to make money. Okay, they're using that philosophy. They're using bad philosophy. I'm retired, medically retired now. But the thing is this, and I will state this: I've been in the big businesses for 35 years. 35 years. And I know their way of wanting to make money. Okay? these big companies. But the thing they got to understand is it's not the consumer needs to spend more for you to get more. It's more or less the big businesses need to spend more, spend a little to get more. They want the consumer to be happy. They need to kind of, roll it back a little bit and kind of tone down the prices, and because you got scalpers getting these new graphics cards and selling it for double the price on eBay. Y'all go look at eBay right now. I guarantee if you go to Amazon and you go to eBay, you got brand new prices on one side and you got used prices on the other. Can you figure that out? I mean, I can't figure that out. Why are they trying to make... And this was my conclusion, is that the big manufacturers saw what the scalpers were doing, so guess what? Guess what they do? They jack up the prices to meet with the scalpers, so they're taking money away from the scalpers, so this way, guess what? They can make more money and take it out of the scalpers' hands. So the scalpers get mad and they go off, and then, the big manufacturers, they start lowering their prices, and guess what? Here comes the scalpers again. It's a hand to hand. They're keeping up the prices between big manufacturing and big scalpers. They're the ones keeping these GPU prices to the roof. If y'all don't know that, it is true. If you watch what they're doing on eBay and you watch what they're doing on Amazon, there are some scalpers getting into Amazon and selling for a high price. You really got to watch. I've been watching the prices for many years now, and it's a little bit crazy, I think. But anyway, I just want to leave y'all with that note. What we're going to do is next week, I'm going to come out here and we're going to do it again on Thursday at 11 o'clock. I'm going to make this a permanent, once a week live feed for you all. And if y'all like it, we'll just keep doing this week by week for live feeds. We'll do it once a week. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and call it quits for today. And I will be seeing you all tomorrow. So y'all make sure you have a great day. And we'll have more to talk about when next week comes about. So make sure y'all stick around for that. And if there's anything else that you want to add to this live stream, you should be able to replay it, or you can leave. I left the chat the chat open on the descriptions, so that way you can add anything you want in there. So you know how that goes. All right, Ratzel, you have a great day. Mad, you have a great day. Everybody, you have a great day. Dorian, if you're still here, you have a great day as well. Good to see y'all here. So we're going to jump out of here, and we will see you on the next video.